Limiting such an extraordinary time of creativity and boldness to a list of just 15 films was nothing short of excruciating. Unfortunately, not every great film from the 60s could make the cut, and plenty of brilliant films, including The Apartment, Eyes Without a Face, 8½, Rosemary's Baby, L'Avventura, Once Upon a Time in the West, and The Young Girls of Rockefort, were left out, though please consider these extremely honorable mentions. Now, let's get into it. Here are the best films of the 1960s. Number 5. A Hard Day's Night. One of the very best films of the 1960s is a sensational musical delight. Richard Lester's A Hard Day's Night finds the Beatles playing absurd versions of themselves as they evade fans, goof around, and try to make the most of their outrageous success. Because it features one of the world's greatest bands, it's also a musical that features many of the songs from the A Hard Day's Night album. The spirit and filmmaking behind the movie have made it influential. Lester's editing is so unexpected and organized in its chaos that Roger Ebert claimed the filmmaker created a grammar so persuasive that he influenced many other films. The film is timeless while feeling distinctly 60s and is one of the most joyful, hilarious films ever made. Without it, we may have never had music videos. Lester received an MTV award in 1984 when they called him the father of the music video. Number 4. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Based on Edward Albee's play of the same name, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf introduced the world to director Mike Nichols, who in 1966 delivered one of the most impressive directorial debuts of all time. The film takes place almost entirely in the home of George, Richard Burton, and Martha, Elizabeth Taylor. It's late, and the married couple has just returned from a party. However, the night's not about to end, as Martha has invited a much younger couple, Nick, George Siegel, and Honey, Sandy Dennis, to join them for drinks. The film's tagline promises an evening of fun and games. While quite a few games are played, there's very little fun to be had for the four of them. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is explosive, shocking, deeply uncomfortable yet hugely exciting. Number 3. Persona. With its quick cuts through seemingly unrelated and uncomfortable imagery and uneasy, discordant musical score, Persona begins almost like an arthouse horror film. That may seem unexpected for a filmmaker of Ingmar Bergman's stature, but throughout his incredible career, he was no stranger to the experimental and unexpected. What happens in Persona seems unclassifiable. It is a psychological thriller, a horror film, a medical drama, an intimate character study, and a piece of experimental cinema. Number 2. Psycho. Hitchcock's greatest films always give us interesting characters, but when it comes to his very best, most intriguing creations, none compare to Norman Bates, Anthony Perkins. In one of cinema's greatest performances, Perkins is spectacularly creepy. His line readings of memorable quotes like, "We all go a little mad sometimes," and "A boy's best friend is his mother," never fail to send chills down a viewer's spine. Psycho is spectacular in part due to its immaculate design. The black and white cinematography is sublime, shadows elevate the mood, Bernard Herrmann's score perfectly amplifies feelings of unease and downright terror, and the film is drenched in an incredibly sinister atmosphere. The legendary shower scene has been the subject of so much analysis that there's an entire documentary.
Am I acting as if there's something wrong?
She's not missing so much as she's run away.
Put me down. Mother! Oh, God, Mother!
What are you running?
Number 1. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick was one of the most celebrated directors in cinema history, and it's easy to see why. His quest for perfection led to some of the most memorable movies ever in which he tackled just about every genre under the sun. His creativity was simply off the charts, or rather, out of this world, with his 1968 sci-fi epic, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Its plot is fairly simple: a mysterious monolith has appeared on the moon, so astronauts set out to discover its origin. However, the film is about something far greater and open to infinite interpretations. It defies conventions at every turn, no dialogue is uttered for the first 25 minutes as music and visuals combine to create an unforgettable, timeless, and eerily accurate predictor of the future. Thanks for watching the full video. Please like the video and subscribe for more such amazing videos.